electric car or petrol car, which one is better? Electric vehicles or petrol, which one should you go for? So you're thinking about buying a new car, and then you're considering which one should I buy, especially with the global acceptance, global appeal. Like, people are now buying more electric cars now. You're seeing more electric cars on the road. You're driving, the car in front of you is an electric car. You're in a taxi, the car is an electric car. Like I said, everybody's now kind of, you see more electric cars on the road now than before. A couple of years ago, the percentage was a bit lower. Now you see more electric cars. You also notice that in most countries, African countries, so you see the appeal for electric cars has also increased. You see most people driving electric cars and all that. Then you're wondering, you're thinking, well, is it better? Is it better than the one I have now, or should I buy an electric car? Now I'm going to answer this question from, like I said, I talk about things like this from personal experience, personal perspective, having driven both and having had both at some point. I'm going to answer this question. So basically, there are certain things you need to know. There are certain things you need to understand before you make your decision. From the cost, running cost and all that, there are things you need to take into consideration before making that decision. Now, let's just quickly jump in. Now, the first thing is cost. Electric cars are a lot more expensive, like than petrol cars. The upfront cost and all that, like buying an electric car is a lot more expensive. So let me give you an example. So for a normal family size SUV, a petrol car will cost around 18,000 pounds and all that. So on average, you could get some as lower, used ones as lower, maybe I say 16, 17, 12,000 pounds and all that. But on average, let's say 18,000. Now the same family size SUV car for an electric car is going to cost about 25,000. So electric cars will definitely cost more than a petrol car. So you could get a petrol car for as low as 18,000, good family size petrol car, while that same good family size electric car will cost about 25,000. So in terms of cost, both of them, electric cars are a lot more expensive. Even though, there's a prediction that in a couple of years from now, the gap and all that will be reduced. So you start seeing both electric cars and petrol cars being at the same price range. So electric cars are a lot more, will become a lot more cheaper and all that, but it hasn't happened yet. So for now, electric cars are a lot more expensive. Even if you want to buy a used electric car and all that, it's still more expensive than a used petrol car. So in terms of cost, it is still expensive. This is something you need to consider. So buying electric cars are more expensive than petrol cars. Now, also on the cost, I want to talk about the running cost for both of them, or still on that cost, maintenance and all that. Maintaining an electric car is a lot more cheaper. It doesn't have a lot more movable parts and all that, so it's a lot more cheaper to maintain an electric car. You don't have to deal with changing your oil, changing your fuel, changing your this, changing your that and all that. The maintenance with petrol cars are a lot more expensive than electric cars. So with petrol cars, you're constantly thinking about every 5,000, 7,000 miles, depending on the car. If it's a hybrid car, every 10,000 miles, you're thinking about how you change your engine oil, your gearbox fluid, the fluid and all that in the car. So you're constantly thinking about maintaining the car, changing the oil filters and everything. So it's a lot more expensive. You save more money if you have an electric car in terms of maintenance. So in terms of maintenance, running costs and all that, electric cars are a lot more cheaper. So the money you spend in buying the car, you kind of recover it over the years in terms of maintenance and all that. So if you're considering maintenance, then you should go for an electric car. Electric cars are a lot more cheaper in terms of maintaining. Like I said, you don't have to bother yourself about maintaining, changing this oil, changing and all that. So it's not because of the latest technologies and all that in those cars. It's not something you just drive on the road and then it just it develops a major issue, just like a petrol car and all that. So, like I said, maintenance, EV cars comes in handy. So EV cars are expensive to insure. The insurance for EV cars are a lot more higher. So electric vehicles are a lot more, the insurance and all that is a lot more higher than a petrol car. So it's common knowledge, it's there. But I know, like I said, there's constantly, they're trying to improve that. Yeah, the next is insurance. So it's a lot more expensive to insure an electric car than a petrol car. So the insurance for EV cars are a lot more expensive than a petrol car. it's normal, it's common knowledge. So you should have that at the back of your mind. So to insure an electric car, I know that it's a lot more expensive than a petrol car. So petrol cars, insuring a petrol car it will cost you a lot more cheaper. It's going to be a lot more lower than insuring an electric car. So you should have that at the back of your mind. And one thing I wanted to point out when I talked about cost, purchasing or buying a new electric car is I forgot to mention that there's a government incentive. I think it was there a couple of years ago. When you speak to cab or taxi drivers in London, they will tell you that the government did something for them. So government kind of encouraged them to buy electric cars. So when you buy an electric car, you get £5,000 from the government. So to offset the cost. So for instance, if your electric car costs about £25,000, government pays £5,000 for you. Government with Uber, I think in conjunction with Uber and all, I think it was, yes, the government in conjunction with Uber, did help them clear off £5,000 from that upfront cost and all that as an upfront cost. So like I said, because of the global acceptance, the government is actually helping cab drivers out, encouraging people to buy and drive electric cars. So like I said, if you speak to most cab drivers in London, they will tell you that they did get an incentive from Uber, £5,000. If you buy an electric car, they give you £5,000 to offset the cost of the vehicle. So that's also where it comes in handy. So if you're thinking about the cost too, like I said, buying an electric car is a lot more expensive than buying a manual car. So that's where the government comes in. So they've been trying to help out to see how they will encourage people to still buy it, even though it's expensive. If you get what I mean. So in terms of cost, the government is trying to bridge that gap. And like I said, a couple of years from now, they're trying to see how they can narrow that gap to make sure that they're both the same price, or electric cars become a lot more cheaper. Same thing with insurance. A couple of years from now, they're also looking at insurance coming down a bit lower to either compete with petrol or become a lot more cheaper than petrol. So you should have that at the back of your mind. The thing with electric vehicle is if you're purchasing, or if you want to buy an electric vehicle, look at the future. Look at the technologies is in the next couple of years from now. Is a petrol in the next couple of years and all that, is petrol car, will it still be something that people will normally want to buy? Is this something that will still appeal to the minds of people and all that? So these are things you need to also consider. So like I said, you should have that at the back of your mind. The next thing I want to talk about is low running cost. Now, in terms of when I mean low running cost, I don't mean like I'm trying to look for the word there. So let me bring it down. In terms of range, now it's very, very easy to do a top up on your petrol car. So you're down on petrol, you're down on fuel and all that. You just drive into a fuel station. Within 5 minutes, you're done. You either fill up your tank or you do your half tank. You're done. You're off. But with electric car, is not the same. So with the electric car, you could spend about 20 minutes trying to charge the car. 20 minutes is, like I said, if you're going to be using a very fast charger. I know a couple, like I said, if you speak to people, or from my own personal experience too, they will tell you, or if you speak to people actually, they will tell you that sometimes it takes hours to get about 300 miles on an electric car. So it takes hours. Like I said, depending on the charger. I know a couple of people that spend like close to 6-7 hours trying to get about 300 miles on the electric car. So it's quite different. This is also something you need to consider. Why for fuel, for petrol car, it's just very easy. Drive into the fuel station, do a top up, you get your 300 miles, you have a fuel tank, you're off. You have more petrol stations on the road than what you have than the electric car chargers and all that. Than start charging stations and everything. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah, charging stations. So, in terms of petrol, you constantly see like you're driving and you're low on petrol. You'll see petrol stations and all that. Well, with EV, I know people like the global acceptance now increasing, but still, the stations and all that are a bit. You don't have them as much as you have the petrol one. So in terms of range and all that, you need to have that in mind. So it's very easy to do a top up than charging your EV car. And you also have an advantage if you have a home charger, which is expensive to install, depending on the provider. So you need to speak to them to know how much it's going to cost you. So if you want to have a home charger at your house, so you're able to charge your EV car and all that, it's expensive. Unlike having a petrol car, which, like I said, just going there and do a top up. But people will tell you that electric cars would always make up for what you spend on fuel. Now, let me explain. So if you spend about £40 a month on petrol, you would notice with an electric car, you notice that you spend lower. You spend as low as maybe £30 or £25 a month on electric cars. So electric cars are a lot more cheaper in terms of running cost and all that. So that's also what you need to have in mind. From my own personal experience, that's it for me. So if what you lose this way, you get this way. So let me explain so the timing, you get to charge your electric cars and all that. You're actually getting it back from how much you save from buying petrol, if that makes sense to you. So like I said, these are things you need to consider. The running cost of an electric car and the running cost of a petrol car is quite different. You need to have that in mind. So if you're able to afford a home charger, it makes it a lot more easier for you. So you charge your car at the end of the day. Next day it's ready and you're good to go and all that, and then that's it for you. Even though you still pay. So, but it's a lot more cheaper and all that. So this is something you also need to have in mind. Then in terms of speed, from personal experience, I will tell you electric cars are a lot more faster. They've got instant torque. It moves a lot more faster. But then you still cannot compare it with the stamina of a petrol car. The petrol cars have got a lot more stamina, more in terms of top speed. They are still very, very fast. If you race cars, if you've seen race cars and all that, you also notice that they're still petrol cars. That's what they use. It's a lot more faster. Petrol cars are faster. But if you're looking at instant torque, if you're looking at this instant speed and all that, you'd always consider electric cars. Electric cars are faster. They are very fast. So that's also what you need to consider. Also, you also need to understand that electric cars are very smooth and quiet. So if you're looking for something that is very sleek, very quiet inside, good technology, 360 camera. I know petrol cars have also got 360 cameras and all that, but you're looking for something that has got latest technology, GPS, basically everything you want in a modern cars you speak to and all that. These are basically what people look at and all. Electric cars come in handy. Very smooth and quiet. Unlike petrol cars, where if there's a petrol car behind you, you would know there's sound and all that. It's a lot more. It's a bit higher. When I mean high, I don't mean like as high as a diesel car. Diesel cars are really noisemakers. But then that's what I mean. Like electric cars are a lot more smoother, more better. And then in terms of environment, that's why the government is actually pushing for people to buy electric cars. In terms of environment and all that, electric cars are better in terms of tailpipe emission and all that. That is why in most cities, if you've got an electric car, you don't pay for a CO2 emission and all that. So if you're going to London, for example, you would have to pay about £12 or so before you're able to drive your car. If it's a petrol car, before you're able to drive your car in most areas in London, you have to pay about £12. But if you have an EV car, if you have an electric car, you don't pay for it. It's totally free. And there's also something the government did in terms of road tax. At some point, I think before April of 2025 this year, road tax for most EV cars were totally free. Like you don't pay for road tax. For most EV cars were totally free. You don't pay for it. But with petrol car, you have to pay for it. I think my first petrol car, I was paying about £36 a month. And then with this one, I'm paying about £15 a month. So then with electric cars, you don't pay at all. You don't pay any road tax for it at some point until I think 2025 this year when that all changed. So in terms of CO2 emission, you can drive your car in almost all areas of London or most places where they have CO2 emission and all that without any charge. But with a petrol car, you would have to pay. You'd have to pay before going, or if you don't pay before going, then there's going to be an extra charge. So these are things you also need to have in mind, especially if you're living in the UK and not. I'm not talking about other countries. I'm talking about the UK. So these are things you need to have in mind. So in terms of costs, electric cars are a lot more expensive, but like I said, government is trying to do something on it now, trying to reduce the cost. In terms of insurance, electric cars are more expensive. In terms of maintenance, electric cars are a lot more cheaper than petrol cars. In terms of convenience, range, and all that, petrol cars are better. And when I mean convenience, like I said, if you're looking for where to do a top up and all that, petrol cars are a lot more better. You find more fuel stations within 5 minutes. You're up and about, you're gone. In terms of speed, like I said, intercity electric cars gives you that instant speed, but definitely a petrol car would always win. In terms of stamina, in terms of balance, a petrol car would always win. Now, in terms of being environmental friendly, no one wants to talk about the batteries of electric cars, but then electric cars are a lot more environmental friendly. The emission from the tailpipe from petrol cars makes it a lot more hazardous for humans, for the environment and all that. So these are things you need to consider. before making your decision. Like I said, electric cars are globally, people are accepting electric cars more. You see them on the road. The cost, but previously it was more expensive buying an electric car. Now it's becoming a lot more cheaper, and like I said, they're looking at in a couple of years from now, it's going the gap will be breached, and electric cars will be become more cheaper because of the technologies and all that. The parts are now easily assembled and all that. So have that in the back of your mind before you buy. If you want something that there's something I'll normally say when buying a phone and all that. Always look at something in the next 3 years that will still be relevant. Next 3 years, if I want to still sell it, it's got value. Electric car, because like I said, the global appeal is increasing. So in the next couple of years from now, what will still make more sense to me? Is it going to be electric car or petrol car? Which one will be better? So these are things you need to ask yourself. To me, I feel electric car in the next couple of years will make more sense. Like the resale value and all that is still going to be there. People are accepting it more now. You're seeing people driving it because one is very cheap to run. What you spend in buying an electric car, you cover it up with the maintenance and all that. So you have that peace of mind and everything. And also have it at the back of your mind. When I talk about range, it's very important, just so you don't get stuck. So you know that when you're running out of charge and all that, you've got 300 miles and then you're left with 50 miles. You're thinking of, and you're doing a long journey. You're thinking of where do I charge my electric car and all that. You become a bit more stuck and confused. It becomes an issue. So these are things you also need to consider in mind. If you're going to be doing long journeys, if you're going to be moving from city to city, you need to consider if they do have where you can charge your electric vehicle there. Charging points are now increasing, like I said. So these are things you need to have at the back of your mind. If you have comments, if you have questions, let us know. I will answer them. I will see you on the next video.